Okay, let's start with the warm-up game here. Matto Matt. Play e4. Sicilian. E3, E6, Sicilian. Oh, so it transposes into a French defense. Let's see. I think you take here first. This is some Marshall opening. An opening named after Frank Marshall. Oh, no, this is not what I thought it was. But it's transforming into a kind of... Oh, he took. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to fianchetto the bishop and try and get some pressure on this pawn. If he takes my knight, it's okay. It's defended. Here, let's go ahead and castle. Can get my rook here. Quick before he castles. Have time for the check, and then I'll just retreat my knight. Ah. Interesting. So what if I take his knight and then attack the pinned knight? I can't do that because there's a pin here. Okay. It was an idea. I mean, I could take the knight and then take the knight and then take the queen. And then develop my knight. I suppose if I take the knight, though, he will... If I take the knight, he will throw in a check as an intermediate move. Oh. Well, if I do this, then aren't I winning a piece? Because he has to take my knight back. I can just retreat my bishop. And I've got an extra piece. That was quick. Okay, he's piling up. Have to defend this pawn. Okay, so he's going after this pawn, I guess, with this queen. But anyway, I can fork the queen and the bishop. That's my idea. If he poses with the rook, I think I mate him. So, right? Pawn check. No, he can interpose the bishop. He can interpose the bishop. Okay, I don't like the queen on that square, so let's kick it. Well, welcome everybody. This is my first game of the stream. I have a special review next after this game. Look forward to that. Oh, it actually seems pretty similar to this game. So he can get a pawn here. I can get a pawn here. Yeah, they can get that pawn. Let's oppose his bishop. JK Beaky, welcome to the stream. Have a good day. So I think Matt here is in a bit of trouble. Don't know what he's going to do. He's going to let me take his bishop. Okay, that's cool. Okay, let's develop a rook here. Now, bring the knight out. Knight here to here. Or bring the rook out first, maybe. Yeah, I'm just a pure piece up. The pawns are all the same, right? It's 2 versus 2. Okay, he moved the rook where the knight doesn't hit it. It's okay. Let's bring the knight out this way. Even if it's not with tempo, it's still a useful move to bring the knight out. And the knight can go here or here. I think here. He has to be a little careful. He might get his knight or his might get his rook trapped. Okay, the rook went back where it was going. Here, let's double rooks. Maybe trade a pair. His bishop isn't doing much over here, so I'm just going to ignore it for now. Yeah, let's trade rooks. He can't let me take it because I'll mate him if he does. Say, I take the rook, the king takes it, and rook here is mate. Oh, and let's see, if he takes, I take with check, he goes here. I bring the bishop here with check. Okay, that's another way to avoid the mate. Because it gives him a square that he can run to. Okay, well, let's see if we can take this pawn. Now, where's his king? His king is there. Let's see. Well, if I go here with the knight, his rook will have to move. Can't keep defending both pawns. I could go here and attack my knight, or the bishop could just take the knight and we have a trade. But he decided to go there. Yeah. That is a pain, isn't it? But if he takes this pawn, I'll take one of these pawns. Let's see, which one should I take? Probably this one, right? Aha! Now he's going to, I messed up. I messed up. Oh, well, he's got bishop here now. Well, fortunately I have knight here. But that was a kind of a mess up. It's nice having an extra piece, but... Okay, the queen went there. I mean, the bishop went there. Trying to make life difficult for me, but... I can push this pawn forward and then step up with my king to unpin. I can put the bishop here. I know there's still a mate in the corner. Aha. There he goes. Okay. Let's just go here. Oh, no, no, no. I had to stay defending the bishop. Well, I might be winning anyway. Because I have the extra pawn here. But it's not it's not as clean a win as it was before. Okay. Now let's see. I can go here or here, and he can take the pawn. I can take a pawn. If I go up here, he can start checking me, huh? Well, it's probably a draw anyway. Well, I can walk towards his rook. So, well, let's hold on to this pawn for a moment longer. If he takes this pawn, I can queen, so... Not sure what he's going to do now. What was the plan, sir? To queen this pawn, I guess. Okay, 2 pawns versus a rook. I think I need to get my king over to stop the pawns first. If I can. Get it there in time. Then, let's see, we can check his king. Now I should step up first. And then check his king. Okay, I'll have to check it this way. If I checked it from the side, he could push the pawn. But now I can just take the pawn. Yep, just put my king in front of the pawn, put the rook behind it. He can't maintain this position here. He's got to move. And then I can step my king up, and then I can take the pawn. So he resigned. Well, I actually won that one. Although I did give away a knight for no reason. Anyway, what I wanted to show you was a game I played the other day. It was kind of an amazing game. So let's go to my profile and get that game up. Show the games. Why is it not showing the games? There we go. So it was a Queen's Indian. I was black. My opponent was rated 1800 here. And we'll just walk through it here. I'm playing my anti-London system. So what I mean by this move is if he plays c4, I will play e6 and try and get a Nimzo Indian. But if he plays any other move, particularly a London system, then I will play b6 and go for a Queen's Indian. So that's what he does here. He plays a knight move, which is non-committal. It could be a London system. It could be a Kala system. Regardless of what it is, I play b6. And that's my system here. And then, so he's going to play the Kala Tsukertort, where he fianchettos his bishop too, which is an interesting response. And so here we have it. He's got his Kala Tsukertort, and I'm just playing with my Queen's Indian. Now, I thought this check was interesting because his bishop is over on this side. And let's see how he responded. Yeah, he responded with the knight. You know, if he puts a piece here, it blocks the queen's view of the center. So I thought this was an interesting intermediate move to check with the bishop. Okay, he develops, I castle, he castles. And I decide, after some thought, I put some thought into this move that was d5, because it blocks my bishop, but at the same time it blocks his Tsukertort bishop here. So I figured it's fine. I mean, it's a problem for both sides, and we both have to deal with it. Okay, so he played a move, and then I expanded with c5. So, and he responded with c4. He doesn't want to be falling behind. I mean, my idea with c5 is that I want to develop this knight, but I want to develop it behind the pawns and not in front of the pawns. So that's why I'm playing c5. So basically, I'm just playing it because I can. It's supported by this bishop here. And then I play the knight move, and he plays the rook, puts the rook here, and I play the rook here. Now, what's interesting is that he wastes one move here by playing an extra pawn, and I decide to start taking. So he could very well take here. Let's see if we go to the analysis board in this position. Wow, normally when you jump to the analysis board, it puts you back in the same position. Okay, here we are. Yeah, so turn on the engine and see what it says. It says he should take. Yeah, so the move he made here, it says he should take instead of pushing the pawn. Here, let's turn that off. It's too distracting. So, but since he sort of wasted a move with that, it's really very even here. And I take, because I'm figuring I take and he takes and I take and he takes, and we've got a classic hanging pawns formation, which is very playable and it's a rich strategic position, because either pawn can be pushed with my two pawns gone and his two pawns standing there, but I can get my rooks over here and get pressure against the pawns. So it can go either way, but it's a fight and an interesting game. So I would have been happy if that's what he did. But what he did instead was he tried to do an intermediate move, taking this way. So he's avoiding the hanging pawns. I guess it's not popular to play with hanging pawns these days, or isolated pawns. But there's a bit of a problem here. Actually, it's not a problem yet, but he can't really take that pawn back, or if he does take it back, he should take this way. He didn't play this, but he should take and give himself an isolated pawn. And this is not a particularly good isolated pawn position, because the bishop is behind the pawn. No, it's okay. This is still an okay position, I guess. But he didn't like, having pawns in the center. So what he played in the game was he played c takes, or knight takes d4. And now, do you see the tactic that I have here? So here's a good chance. It's not too hard to spot. Okay, I'm going to give the answer away. If you haven't got it by now, so you just play knight takes knight here because it opens up this battery. And there's a mate threatened. So he actually can't take the knight back. So he played this move. But now I'm just a piece up. I took the bishop off with check. He took back. I grabbed a pawn. He traded for, he didn't really need to trade, but I guess he wanted to show that his bishop was attacking my knight. Anyway, I just came back, and there's not much going on here. I repositioned my queen, and he avoided the queen trade by taking with a pawn, but this messes up his king side. And then I lifted my rook. I was going to double the rooks, bring this rook over here if he let me, and force some more trades, but he traded voluntarily. And I had noticed already that my queen defends the rook as well as the pawn, so I can take back with the queen. I still have a good pawn structure over here, and I still have an extra piece. And just have to deal with this a little bit. It's a little bit of maneuvering here. And poking with the bishop. Then I finally, my queen is supporting my rook here, so I can get rid of the other rook. So now it's just queen and bishop versus queen. I saw that he has the check here. King has to step up, and he can come back here and check, but I can block with the bishop, so there's no perpetual check or anything. So I let him check me. And yeah, he blocked. I wasn't thinking he would come here. I was thinking he would put his queen here. That's the check I saw. But this is the same thing. I can block with the bishop. And he can play a pawn, but that's okay. Then he stepped up with the king. I put my queen here. I'm just going to push this pawn through and mate. And back. Yeah. Put my pawn there. I'm threatening to take his queen, of course. If he trades, I have an extra passed pawn that, I don't know, maybe he can stop it in time. Yeah, he just gets inside the square, but he loses the pawns over on this side if he goes chasing this pawn. So he didn't trade. He stepped aside with the queen. I stepped the pawn forward, and then I was going to check again, force a queen trade. So he stepped aside with his king, but that lets me take... well, I stepped my queen forward first, and then I can take this pawn because it's no longer protected, this one here. And there's one final tactic. He resigned at this point. But the final tactic is, do you see it? Okay, I'm going to give the answer away. It's queen here, mate. Because these squares are covered by a pawn, and this square will be covered by the queen, and the queen supported by the bishop, and he has no way to stop it. Let's see, if he went over here to try and get some kind of perpetual, for example, then I would just play here and mate. Okay, so that was the game. So it was a nice game. It was if we go back to the well, first of all, when he resigned, it was move 39, so it was not a super short game. It was 39 moves. Where short game is in the 20s. Miniatures are 20s or 25 moves. So 39 moves is a moderate position, a moderate game. So if we go back to the beginning, and then I was curious how this was, and I looked at it with the chess engine. I called up the... I don't know if this shows on the, yeah, it doesn't show very well. Okay, yeah, all you see is this bit of the graph here where it's about even, and then he made the mistake, and then I was better for the rest of the game. It was pretty much a one and done kind of game. But over here on the side, it has number of inaccuracies, number of mistakes, number of blunders, average centipon loss, and accuracy. And the first thing I noticed was my accuracy was 97%. Now, when I see something like that, I always say, oh, that guy is cheating. Because 97% is really hard for a human player to get. Even top professionals, grandmasters have trouble with that. And then also I noticed there was zero inaccuracies, zero mistakes, and zero blunders for me. So I didn't make any big mistakes. My average cent upon loss was 15. So that's the only sign that I wasn't cheating, right? If you're cheating, the average cent upon loss will be down in the single digits. But other than that, it looks like I'm an engine cheater when I play that game, because also because it's 39 moves long. Usually in a game that long, I will make some mistake or inaccuracy. So anyway, it's interesting. So I just had to share it with you after all of that. Yeah, I regularly get good games. It is a good opening. You can play almost anything against the London system, because the London system is not particularly threatening. It's not threatening anything immediately. It's kind of a slow burn opening. It's not like a bad opening, but you can play any kind of opening system against it, because you have time to get your setup while your opponent gets his setup. And so, what I like about this system is that it's not the standard system that they're used to. So I did a video about a system you could play against the London system, and it's pretty much symmetric. Where I did this, and then they do this, they do this. I think I was recommending pushing the pawn. Get this kind of setup against it. And but that's the kind of thing lots of people play against the London system, so they're very used to it. Whereas the Queen's Indian, it's just not that common. Oops, wrong way. So here, and here. And you've got some ideas. You've got pressure along this diagonal. Sometimes they forget about this bishop, since it's not usually positioned here. You can sometimes jump your knight in here. And the play continues, say here, here. And then you can push this pawn, bring this knight out here. If he doesn't keep up the pressure on e5 here, you can sometimes push this pawn too. Or you can, as we saw in this game, oops, get back. You can, as we saw in this game, get a pawn here. That's another option. And it's all good. Okay. Anyway, that's that. Let's see if we can get another game here. Antonio Lamar. All right. Playing e4. Oh, the King's Gambit. I'm going to play the Fischer defense. Let's see. When he plays this move, what do I do? I guess I go here. Stop the knight from coming in, so... Normally they push the d pawn. He's holding off on that. Okay, I think I can develop. He's got to figure out how to defend his d pawn. He does it that way. Okay, and then I can play here, defending my pawn, my extra pawn, and creating some space for my bishop. Keeping his knight from jumping in here. Yeah, now he plays d4, which is standard move. But as I'm holding on to this pawn, I'm also restricting his dark squared bishop. So he feels the need to break out. I'll give this pawn up. Weakens his king side, and then I'm going to get castled. He decides to push the pawn first. Well, I can go ahead and throw in this intermediate move. And I can take here. Eventually I'm going to have to move that knight. Yeah, I don't have a good spot for the knight. Oh, he's going to give up a piece and then get a piece back, so that's okay. Oh, I thought he was going to take back and take advantage of my pinned knight, but he's just going to attack. Okay, fine. I mean, his king is all exposed. But the knight here does block this diagonal, which is probably a useful thing for him. So he gave up two pieces. Now I have two pieces that aren't developed. Or did he? Did he just give up one piece? Yeah, I'm just one piece up. That's right. He gave up a pawn and then he gave up a piece. What are you going to play, sir? I'm thinking of queen here, pinning the knight. But his knight, his other knight, could come in here or here. Well, if it comes in here, I'll take it. But if it comes in here, it's a problem. So I'm wondering if I should push a pawn first, but that's too slow, probably. Or I could develop with my knight. Yeah, I think I'll develop with my knight. And if he doesn't take, I'll take. He takes back, I'll trade queens, and then I'll be able to move my knight safely. Some square like here or here. Oh, he sacrifices the exchange. That's cool. I think these are just mindless sacrifices. I'm not seeing any pattern here, but I might be wrong. Maybe we'll find out. See, because I'm threatening to take his knight and then take back with check. Okay, now that's not a mindless move because he can check me here. Well, I can block the check. Yeah, he can check me here, but I'll have the bishop covering it after I take. Yeah, I can just take that knight. Get my check in. And now, what's the thing to do? Bring the queen out? Can't do that. The knight's covering this square. Let's see, if I bring my queen over here, he does have rook to this square. Okay, I think I should lift my bishop up first. How about we put the bishop here? It'll limit where he can put his queen. Then I can defend the bishop here. He can come in with the knight. I can go here. He can check me. So I guess I should move the bishop. No, that's a problem too. Okay, defend the bishop here. So at least it's not pinned, and break a rook over. Yeah, it's getting tricky. Need to keep the knight from hopping in here, I guess, because the knight check here is pretty dangerous. Well, I have the dark squared bishop still. Not so easy to figure out how I'm going to drive that queen away, but I'll do something. I do have a check here, and then bishop here. That might be good. See the queen check, and then drop the bishop back. The queen is defending it. And he can't mate me here. That's what I was, at one time I was going to move the bishop away, and then I noticed that the queen and the rook were coordinating on this square, and he could just mate me in one. Okay, he's looking for another sacrifice, I guess. Or he's letting us, no, he moved the rook. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, let's do what I said. Check here. And white resigned. Yeah. I didn't think, if we go to the analysis board, this is, yeah, plus or minus 9 or 10. So that's good for me. Let's go back, get another game. English. I haven't played the English yet. Igoro Kyuk. Igor Okyuk. Played d5 right away. Oh, I should have considered pushing. So put some pressure on his knight. See if he decides to defend it or move it. He defends. So let's open up a line for my other bishop. I think I'll develop my knight and get castle. I've got kind of a reverse Sicilian setup here. Oh, that's a little bit problematic, huh? Can't let him have that pin knight. So we will unpin. I mean, he would win a pawn there. And maybe get the check that forks the king and the rook. Got to be careful about things like that. Okay, we got castled. He's got a Maraxi bind. Classic Maraxi bind. So I can take his knight. Yeah, let's kick the bishop. See what he wants to do with it. Wants to go back. Okay, well I can, I know, I'll put my rook here and then put my knight here. So I'll be attacking this pawn. Oh, so he took. So now I am attacking this pawn, but he can defend it. He's got time. Trade. If I do nothing and he takes this pawn, I can take this pawn, but he'll take this one too, so probably not a good trade. So defend. Well, if I do that, you know, he's going to force me to, he'll be able to play the knight here. Make this knight kind of a worthless piece. Yeah. I'm going to do that anyway. I mean, I wanted to maneuver that knight around to somewhere more interesting. Well, let's see if he lets me double. I want to double my rooks and then maybe play to here. Get pressure on that other pawn. Wants to trade rooks, huh? So I can go here. I don't know why he's so happy trading everything. It's like, it's not the way to win. Putting pressure on this pawn, but he can bring his bishop out. Putting pressure on this pawn. So what I can do is this little trick, and I can take this pawn then. Also, his king, he's got a back rank problem with his king. He saw that and fixed it. So I escaped from this by the check. He was attacking my pinned bishop, thinking maybe he could win it, I guess. Not winning. And he resigned. Yeah, I was gonna after the king moves, this bishop is just hanging. So it's going to be a piece up as well as having won the pawn there. That's a pretty good win over someone rated 1926. Let's go to the analysis board and do a quick check to see how many blunders I made in that game. Yeah, this is more typical of my game. There were 3 inaccuracies, 3 mistakes, 0 blunders, 86%, and it was going up and down around the flat line there. You can't see it, can you? There. Yeah, you can see the graph. It's going back and forth and back and forth. I'm white here, and then at the end I get the advantage. There was one place where black had the advantage. After this move that I thought was good. That was my whole plan, was to take that mistake. Bishop f3 was best. And what he should play is it's the bishop d5. So bishop d5 is a blunder. He should play bishop the other way. Oh. If he plays bishop here, then it's a little bit of trouble. What do I have? Yeah, it's better for black. And all I have, my best move is to take the pawn, so I lose a piece. So I don't know. I have two pawns for the piece, so it was pretty close. So I was getting in trouble grabbing a pawn. Once again, those little pawn grabs got me in trouble. Okay, well, it's time for 1 or 2 more games. Let's get somebody new. Okay, we'll try and get a Slav. Oh, he lets me play the Slav. Okay, prevents the win-hour gambit, but at least I get a Slav. So, what to do? Pin his knight. If I take, he takes with the bishop, I could develop my knight. But normally the play is to expand on the queen side, and the knight would be blocking these pawns. I think pin the knight, just because his bishop is out of the way, and I can get castled then. And now when I take, he will have wasted a move with his bishop, so there's some advantage to taking now, as opposed to later. And then what? I want to be able to play c5 without losing my pawn, so let's push that pawn. c5 is the way you activate in this position. Now take with the knight or the queen, or the bishop, I mean. Bishop, I guess. See, and I have a good square for my bishop here. So he stepped aside with the queen. I'll step aside with the queen too. Depending on where he goes, of course. So I could go here. I think I will. I think this is okay. It looks like I'm kind of self-pinning, but I'm going to move the rook here, move this knight back to here and to here, and then kick the bishop. Well, that was my plan anyway. Let's see. He's going there with the knight. Does that do anything? Sacrifice here. Let's kick this first. Then put the rook here. So yeah, you see knight here to here unpins because it gets rid of this bishop. Puts pressure on the bishop. And his knight just went back. Interesting. So he's putting pressure on my knight. I see. Okay, I got to take it. It wasn't defended. He didn't notice my bishop there. I wondered why I wasn't worried about his knight coming forward and attacking me. Let's attack his bishop. I'll be able to push the pawn here too. Can break the pin one way or another. So he voluntarily unpinned. See, if I put my bishop here, bishop takes, rook takes, rook takes, queen takes. Yeah, I can do that. Let's just neutralize that nasty bishop. Maybe step my king into the pocket here so this pawn is no longer pinned. That'd be something to do. Okay, so he forces me to play the pawn up. I'll still step up with the king. I've got this bishop guarding the diagonal. It's still good. And I will stay there. Now I can take. So I guess he can take too, huh? Let's see if we can distract his rook. Get my rook to the center. Okay, we'll try and tackle some of these pawns. This one is no longer pinned. So if he pushes his pawn forward, yeah, I'll be able to take it. But he's trying to force my knight to move, huh? I have a check here. So now he pushes, I take, he takes, I trade queens. Oh, maybe I don't, because he can take the bishop a check. Maybe I have to step back with the bishop first. Yeah, so my idea was to go here with the knight. Block out his bishop. And it's a good outpost for the knight. I can go to here and tackle this pawn. So he takes. Now I can go here. Let's see if he wants to keep his queen on this diagonal. Now I can go here. So I have the check here. I know what. I put the rook here, and then I can take this pawn with the bishop, and that'll be check. And the king goes there. Yeah, there's a discovered check here. He resigned. Just to show you, I was planning this move. He's in check. He could still block with the queen. If he blocks with the rook, I'll take the queen. The king has no moves, so yeah. Blocking with rook or queen is the only move, and then queen here. Actually, this is mate. Even better than just trading queens. Or he can block with the rook, and I'll take his queen. And this will be mate shortly. Let's see, so if we go back to this position, this is -8. Yeah, where did he play? He played here, then I took here check, and yeah, this is a mate in 4. He can't escape the mate now. So he didn't resign too soon. Okay, one more game. One more game here, I think. Well, I guess I'll go back to playing the knight move. Yeah, that's the London system. Oh, 1906 too. A lot of high-rated players today. In my a lot of higher-rated players attacking and they're matching against me. Yeah, so this is a real London system. He's got the pawn triangle and everything. So yeah, I'm going to put the knight here and then maybe rook here and push this pawn. That's one way to try and get some play in this position. The other idea of knight to here is that it supports a potential e5. Keeping my pawns flat around my king. I don't think I have to worry about the pin at this point. And yeah, I may have to worry about sacrifices on h7 if I'm not careful. So I will lift that pawn then. And bring the knight over, bring the rook over, push the pawn up. Have to be careful to keep this pawn defended. Ah, he's pushed with e4. That's a very classic freeing move. That's why it's queen there. It helps support this. I have 2 pieces. He's got 3. And he's prevented me from playing e5, which would otherwise be a nice response to e4. You play e5 because it hits his bishop, but and stops the pawn from coming forward. But he could just take it, I think. Take, yeah. It's all just taking. So anyway, I play this move. It helps chip away at the center. If he pushes, I will take. And maybe end up retreating that knight. Well, I am facing a stronger player, so he may show me my weaknesses here. The weaknesses in my formation. I have knight to g5 as an idea, but he could kick it, so I need to make sure it's got some other square to go to after that. Anyway, it's convenient that I have this pin here, because that means I can effectively undermine this pawn, because he can't take back with a pawn. He only takes back with a piece. Okay, so now he's missing a pawn. I think I was going to take with the knight here. And since this pawn is gone, Now it's possible for me to play e5 if I need to. And I have 3 pieces on this pawn. He's got 4 defenders, though. He's doing a good job of keeping his e-pawn defended. But if I get rid of this light squared bishop, that'll take some sting out of the attack. It's part of it's part of White's strategy to push this pawn at some critical moment. But here I can just take the pawn. So he's opened up this diagonal by pushing the pawn. And now I'm threatening to take this bishop. And threatening this bishop. I think he made a mistake. There's dual threats here, yeah. And he resigned. Okay. Well, we're going to finish on a positive note here. Thanks all for watching. Remember to follow me to get notifications for when I stream. I don't have a regular schedule yet. And I will see you all next time. Bye now.